Last year saw one of the biggest years in Sony's history for PlayStation exclusives, and with the upcoming release of Days Gone coming up next week, I thought what better time to count down my top 5 favourite PS4 exclusives so far. It's worth noting that I am discounting remasters and collections from this list, so apologies to The Last of Us, I still love you dearly. So let's not waste any more time. I'm Mikey from respawning.co.uk, and this is my top 5 PS4 exclusives so far.
Are you ready to seek your fortune?
Number 5. Detroit Become Human. This one may not appear in most gamers' top 5, but Detroit Become Human holds a special place in my heart. I just love Quantic Dream games. In fact, Heavy Rain would have undoubtedly made it into my PS3 list of top 5 exclusives. The first thing that always stood out to me in Detroit was just how stunning the visuals are, and how detailed every character and location is. Sure, the gameplay is standard choice making and quick time event mechanics, but that doesn't take away from the game's incredible narrative. Detroit tells a fantastic story, and the choices you make feel like they have never felt more important. I understand these sort of games aren't for everyone, but for me, I hope to see many, many more just like them. Speaking of seeing more games similar to Detroit. Number 4. Until Dawn. Okay, so we've established that I'm a sucker for Quantic Dream style games. So, how do you make that even better? You add cheesy horror, that's how. And that's exactly what Supermassive Games did with the 2015 release of Until Dawn. Admittedly, this game may not be as polished as something like Detroit, but that didn't stop it from becoming one of my favourite games to play on the PS4. All the horror movie tropes are here. Vulnerable teenagers alone in the woods, check. Cringeworthy dialogue, check. Red herrings and over-the-top twists, check. Jump scares that made a little poo come out, check. This may all sound a little bit corny or lame, but trust me, it works. I found myself completely engrossed in every second of Until Dawn, and if you, like me, count yourself as a fan of horror, then you need to make sure this PlayStation classic doesn't pass you by. Number 3. Marvel Spider-Man. Being a massive fan of Marvel, and of course Spider-Man, it's safe to say that my hype levels for this game were through the roof. But not in my wildest dreams did I expect the finished product to be this good. Before this 2018 release by Insomniac, the Spidey games that had come before had been a mixed bag, with nothing in particular standing out as truly brilliant. That was until now. They hit a home run with this one, nailing absolutely everything that should be done right in a Spider-Man game. The combat was a joy to use. Swinging through the streets of an incredibly detailed Manhattan was a stupidly addictive experience, and maybe more importantly than all of that, the characters were spot on. The dialogue, the voice acting, the story all did Peter Parker and co justice, and managed to tell a new and exciting story to fans and non-fans alike. So yeah, I truly love this game, and the fact that it was an exclusive to PS4 is a massive win for Sony, and reason enough for a non-PS4 owner to make that purchase. Number 2. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Would this even be a top anything PlayStation chat without the inclusion of a Naughty Dog game? Uncharted 4 was yet another home run for what might be my favourite video game developer of all time. Released in 2016, it had everything you would hope to see in an Uncharted game, but with the added task of wrapping up a nearly 10-year-long story. And it did exactly that, with near perfection. These games have always been an absolute joy to play, and Uncharted 4 makes sure that the series goes out in a blaze of glory. Uncharted games are like your favourite movies, where you just want to put it on again and again until you know every line off by heart. Slick, stunning, energetic and charismatic, Uncharted 4 is everything a gamer like me could ask for when looking at PlayStation exclusives. Will there ever be another game that captures the giant blockbuster feel to the extent Uncharted does? Maybe, but until then, Nathan Drake & Co. will always have a very special place in my heart. Number 1. God of War. Oh God of War, you absolute beauty. Where do I start with this absolute epic of an exclusive? I've always enjoyed playing the God of War games. In fact, you could make an argument for them being some of my favourite action games of all time. So, was I hyped for the 2018 release of God of War? Of course I was. But I was naive enough to believe that I would just be getting another fun hack and slash action adventure game. Oh, how wrong I was. Look, don't get me wrong. The incredibly fun combat and action was still there, and better than ever. But this game was so much more than its perfect combat. What I was treated to was something truly special. Sometimes when you're playing a game, or watching a movie, or reading a book, It goes beyond just being a fantastic piece of work on that medium and becomes something else entirely. It becomes an experience. And that's exactly what this unrivaled masterpiece is. It's an experience. Every part of this game feels important, and through its near 35-hour story, never once feels like it dips in quality. I wasn't alone in thinking this, as God of War was critically received as one of the best games of this generation, earning 10 out of 10s across the board of gaming journalism. And it damn well deserves every bit of that high praise. The journey I went on with Kratos and Atreus is something that will always stick with me in a strong way. And this is not only my favourite ever PS4 exclusive game, but maybe my favourite game of all time. So there we have it, my favourite PS4 exclusives so far. Do you agree with my list? Or do you have one that is completely different? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this, then make sure you check out our other videos. And for all the latest news and reviews, make sure you check out respawning.co.uk.